it going, enthusiasts? We're here to watch Shin Minjun play against Fine Art live. Shin Minjun, super top pro, has played Fine Art 6 times. He's lost all his games. Actually, I think I watched another one. I don't know if I made it a YouTube video, but I did see one of those 6 live as well. And so obviously it's 2-stone game, no handicap, or sorry, no komi. Obviously handicap, 2-stone handicap. And in the previous game that I saw, Shin Minjun played really actively when he played against the AI. So he did some stuff which I was thinking was working aggressively, but the AI showed actually wasn't working. It was some very deep reading to accept the aggression and turn it back against Shin Minjun. I get the feeling that the way Shin Minjun treats the AI is that he should do even more risky things than he would do against normal humans. And strictly use it as a boundary limit of what is or what is not going to be effective. Basically test the AI to show the punishments that no human can really come up with and learn from that what exactly is happening in fights. So this is a start to that sort of thing, where this is very aggressive treatment of the left side, is trying to establish something very big there, trying to have white be kicked and pincered, and use this to potentially surround all of that. Like black killing those white 2 stones is absolutely on the table here. Now white started with the lean in the bottom right, which is a standard move, but also idea of when black attacks the left side and tries to grow the bottom side, it's not going to be a lot more limited from this. So obviously making perfect sense. It's AI. Now here, if I were playing, I'm going to be doing some stupid run out in the bottom left. I'm going to be saving this, walking it out, some shape. I don't know what shape. White does not. White plays away. This is what the AI can do a lot better than me. So it can leave this kind of thing, let black attack it, and prove it wasn't that valuable. Wow, knight's move here. It's very interesting to see this follow up directly. It means it really expects white that black will be getting thickness here, and it really does not want black to get anything wonderful on the left side off of it. Only that if black gets the left side, or the bottom side fairly, I mean, then that's already a success for white. What an interesting move, actually. What an interesting move. A lot of human players would think this is resigning yourself to a game which is slightly inefficient, but of course the AI doesn't agree if it's playing that. I think the sort of standard human way now should be like Q16, but Shin Minjun is very aggressive. Very aggressive. Wow, okay. Pincer this. Even when white is overly defensive, we pincer again. Is it making sense? Really? I mean, it must be, but I'm not sure I understand why. Why this way? Well, white can't really attach under and crosscut. Here. That's sort of your standard bread and butter for this stuff. Oh, actually, white can do it, but probably not great. So just fix. Yeah, there was some weaknesses here. Just fix. Wow. I was thinking, like, if we do this stuff, then black is going to get to use the weaknesses from here, and it's going to be really annoying. When black uses this, you have to kind of answer and then push, and then some cut remaining. I was thinking that was not going to be that comfortable. Wait, fixed it directly. And it's saying, you've given me great shape. Wow, I didn't realize this is acceptable for white. White can actually fix that and benefit. Incredible. I love it. I love it. Now, when black pushes here, if he would push here, if white answers bamboo, it's not acceptable. So part of the reason why we're doing this, I think, is to say that we have an area here already that black can't easily push to. So obviously this move, reasonable normal move, where we're taking care White gets super strong, so we say, all right, the fine white, you have it. But this one, like, part of the reason it's viable is that we have greater control here. Part of the reason it's viable is we have greater control here. What do you think is going to happen next? How is White going to use this? Is White going to go all the way down to use this? Is White going to go to the left side now, slide, or go underneath here? Somehow go underneath here looks bad because C9, right? So, approach here? I don't think so. Not directly. Invade? Oh, approach. Approach. It means... What does it mean? Normally I would think kick and back off like this is just making black shape really, really nice compared to the 3-3 variations where black is not visually as efficient. Like, when black kicks and extends this kind of shape, you usually think this one is like helping fix the approach, which is the main problem there. How odd to allow that as an AI. And black didn't even kick. Is there some understanding I'm missing here? To me, the idea to not kick here is odd, where we're gonna let them invade in the future, and then have to describe that the top side is valuable to us, but the top side is intrinsically definitely not valuable because of this. How unusual. This game is quite a surprise. Quite a surprise. Okay, well, if I were White now, I wouldn't invade yet, I wouldn't play anything yet. I would... Yeah, I was thinking I would do something. This attach. This is your solution to how to run this left side. Okay. I don't have this move in my dictionary because this stuff is dangerous for me. However, it's AI, so this stuff shouldn't be that dangerous. Obviously, if black Haned back and accepted this, then white space would be very comfortable and black would be small. So black wants to fight that. And we have crosscut. I was wondering whether it was going to be Hane here or crosscut, basically. I also thought briefly whether we can do some crazy diagonal stuff, but it wasn't reasonable here. But between Hane here and crosscut, I don't know why Hane here is wrong necessarily. But crosscut is obviously a possible way. Okay, after crosscut, let's see. Few possible directions. There are maybe...
9, 8, 7.
Maybe it's a bit tough.
6, 5, 4, 3.
The whole board is open when you have a crosscut like this. There's so many directions to choose from. This is the strongest way, as I said. Shin Minjun is not at all afraid. Not even remotely afraid. I think a lot of human players there would have chosen to Atari and block on this side, which then forces white to go underneath like this, and would give, you know, continuing, it would give black a chance to either extend or use both Ataris to force white back very directly. Probably if you use the both Ataris method, you would want to continue to make it so that white is like almost surrounded, and you can maybe get the Hane Sente as well. But that one is not that clean of a shape. Not that clean of a shape. And so, Shin Minjun tries to fight for the most thing. And basically this one is daring white to play on the inside here. A lot of my opponents are going to play moves like extend like this. It just kills yourself harder. Very stupid. This one. This is an interesting way to hold back from this step. Wow, normally we would think that when black extends here, that is establishing a locally good shape. Should be something worth stopping, but AI says extend here is good. It's fine. But this one is very fine. It's working very nicely. Right. Shin Minjun asks about this now. Because if white does give him the descent here, he's going to change his play somehow. I'm not exactly sure how. But it makes sense that that is a question that you could ask right now. Somehow when you get that exchange, you do have a bit better control for the top side in general. So I should really use that question a lot more often. I just don't think of asking questions that much, I realized today. Okay, so the main problem with extending here is that later we're worried that extend for white is going to be sente. And if we don't answer, then it extends here. And then that we would die with these two.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Which is a problem.
3, 2, 1.
So this one is designed to prevent that problem. It's possible, it's another fight, but it has a very obvious reason why you wouldn't want to do it, which is sort of more intuitive, that these two stones don't have to be that big, right? So white is definitely going to be fighting with the emphasis on the other parts. So even Atari here. I was thinking extend, Atari here, Hane, but yeah, this one seemed like the most aggressive. White goes for it directly. Obviously, we've set up a serious threat for this, so black needs to answer. And then, wait, Atari? What is this setting up exactly? Simply an outside shape. Okay. And that was it. And Fine Art had apparently read this out, so that means Shin Minjun didn't play so badly. if everything is read by Fine Art. Okay, nice. Interesting sequence there. And then it continues. Wait, uses the thickness that they got from the outside. Says that this sacrifice is effective here. Basically, if black continues, then that eat is really small, since white can also use it from the corner. So the territory that black can gain in this part is not very big, and then the territory black gained on the left side ends up being not that effective. Not that efficient, right? Very nice. Very, very well executed by Fine Art here. Atari
9,
Atari from the inside,
6, 5, 4,
just to continue to play the outside, while having the big threat that you play on the inside, you allow the opponent to answer, you get the maximum outside, and you get the full press. Two stones being worth or not worth capturing is one of the hardest things. It's not even just two stones. Whether stones are worth capturing in Go is so difficult. Any stones, at any event. So difficult. It depends on your full read of the fight and your full judgment of the fight, right? You have to actually know what you're doing rather than just parroting some strategy. Oh, let me bet on... no, sorry. I couldn't bet. I couldn't bet in time. I was gonna bet on black. The rate was 7%. Shin Minjun is extremely strong, and he's gotten a position here which is very, very stable. Now, very stable positions are the ones which humans can beat the AI with more often because there's only so much room on the board. However, I'm kind of grateful I didn't, because here you can see white is once again getting an outside shape. So this is a quasi mid-game Joseki here. Like, I've played this kind of shape in my mid-games before as well. And usually what's happening here is that black is again taking a fair territory on the right side, and white is getting the benefit in the form of power to the center. Now, for humans, this isn't really going to work very well, usually, when you try to build power in the center from several sides, because the opponent is going to find a good timing to come in. And it's extremely difficult to judge which all the right building moves are in comparison to which all the right reducing moves are. Like if you can reduce, you can really clearly see how much value it was. But when you build, then you have to give the whole board back to the opponent and say, you know, I saw everything. And you only need to see things locally as the reducing side. So white has a tough game here for a human, but for an AI, I've seen it so many times that it just picks everything perfectly and all the chances to reduce wash away for black. Now, interesting, Shin Minjun takes his first Byomi here, where I would have connected without thinking. Obviously, connecting without thinking is not optimal, but can you really do something here? Like, really? I just don't believe that there should be something very strong to be done when there's so many weaknesses back here, and this area does matter, and this breaking the table is just such a devastating shape. I don't know how to make it so that black is going to show that there's a better shape on the board than white's breaking the table here. Like, there's no punch to be made against this shape. So yeah, okay. Eventually he's connecting. Goes like this. And 3-3 invade. Wow, it wasn't even a center direction. Okay, I didn't realize this was going to be what happens. So I guess maybe Shin Minjun knew that this was going to be what happens. Decided this was difficult. Oh, I didn't know about this at all. So Hane outside here is just to sort of gently fix the center, but ask black exactly what kind of Aji there is over here. And after black does this one, black is saying all of the Aji on these stones is to the upper side. So then peep here is white saying, okay, then I will use up all the Aji and get the block in order to save here. Wow, okay. So now white will connect, and then this is the kind of thing that makes it so difficult about playing in the center. It would have been a mistake if you didn't do this, right? If you lost the Aji to go here and tried to block the center somehow, right now, connect, something like that, then when black fixes this part, and you lose the chance to use the Aji, your chances of winning the game go way down, and I wouldn't even have noticed. It's a huge mistake. So, now black to play is very awkward in comparison. Very awkward, really.
9, 8, 7.
Are we gonna Hane Tiger now?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Exchange connects first. But then White stopped it. White stopped you from Hane Tigering. So if black had gotten... Oh, but if White had answered the outside, then black could Hane connect here, and then when White answers here, then it's not locally alive. So obviously White was going to do this. This was not even a question. Okay, so I just had some misreading just now. My bad. And then this moment, now black can cut and capture those two stones, but maybe he can do better and more. Okay, he decided he couldn't. Cut. Cut here is pretty effective. It's hard to do better. Okay, so that fight ended with white taking the territory and black switching back to get some influence to the center. Not a bad result. And white decided to handle this bottom side by starting from the corner direction. We were considering how this was going to happen before. I think obviously black getting a lot thicker here has changed the story a little bit. Now white wants to be secure and safe with this. But still, I really like the idea that we're starting from the corner and saying the bottom side, I can still approach it from here. So it was not possible for black to fix it with one move down here. There was no magical move to be like, okay, now I defend my group and I fix the bottom. So black basically just had to say, all right, you got the corner first, I have to save myself, and then you still get to break the bottom. There was no better move for black than this way, but it was just clearly the correct direction. Meanwhile, if you had played from here first, then black could easily control the corner a lot better. But here there was no way for black to improve the shape on the bottom side, even though it was such a big space. Such a big space, still openable. So yeah, instructive. Approach from the corner, this kind of thing. Such a big space, but nothing very active. It's actually inert. So we should play here. Yeah. It's the ghost move idea again. But not really, like ghost. it's with a super common shape, but just that same idea strategically.
3, 2, 1.
Excuse me. So this is so annoying because obviously if black is pushing from underneath, that's not great. But if black is letting white block, that's also not great. You want to fix it indirectly somehow. But it's very hard to imagine white gets the block there and then somehow the black shape is efficient somewhere. Basically, it can only be in the corner with like R18. But if you try this R18 thing first, then that will make white not want to block at K18 anymore. So you can't win. 0 win game.
9, 8.
The AI's favorite.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Excuse me. Top professionals hate playing moves in 0 win games. They would always rather try to find a way that they can at least say they're doing something reasonable. So I wouldn't be surprised even if there's one more Biome from here, already spending more than 2 minutes on this move. Because this problem is so difficult. What white poses here. So difficult. Oh. You might be thinking about attach here, but white goes down. You would normally need to Hane to counterattack, but this turn is devastating. Or they can capture a stone, and these two remain Miai. Black is broken.
3, 2, 1.
So eventually he decided he could do no better than play here. Wow! I didn't expect it. Did he expect it? This is crazy, isn't it? I thought white for sure is going to be donating, but AI believed that this R18 was the correct thing to do, and now it's fighting super hard. It's super hard. So this way, when black extends, white wants to Atari, white capture, black connect, white push, black turn here, and then white answer, like this. Leaves either Sente remaining, right? No, it doesn't. No, that's it. So you get to turn here, Sente, and then you have to link up underneath over here. Oh, but there's a cut, so it's not that comfortable anyway to link up. You would have to link up like this. You get Atari'd. I mean, that's not actually that bad. Unless there's an Atari inside like that, and connect here.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I don't see anything that's that devastating there. Normally we're thinking for this stuff that white is too much to play inside because we should get some kind of counter pressure outside. But here, this white stone and this white stone and like the general white thickness outside is working so well in white's favor. Obviously what I showed you is something that Shin Minjun can read in 3 seconds. The trick is, what do you do that's different? How do we make this better for black?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Excuse me.
4.
Because ideally you aren't linking up a group
1.
underneath on the second line and giving power when they do something which is too territorial and gives you an excess amount of power. So like this is the moment right now where black should be able to organize something against this outside and somehow get more control of like territory here or here and save his group. Like it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be impossible. But somehow I can't see any comfortable way. Again, it's just how it works when you play the AI. It does something kind of interesting, odd, leaves extra weakness, and somehow you can't find a way, no matter what.
Nine, eight, seven, six,
Perhaps
five,
black will start with
4,
this move.
2, 1.
Oh, completely different direction of thought. And wait, answered instantly, meaning he was correct. Because the AI needs a lot of playouts to play, and it only has those playouts on variations when black was thinking for a while and black plays the right move. It's only diving into the right move, not the wrong moves. So he used that to show that this black group is going to be safe locally. You can see maybe the AI is not such a big fan of this direct making eye space move, where white can capture, and then black has lost Aji, has lost some choice here, and he needs to push if this group is going to be healthy. So the idea now is that this is, if white extends, tenukiable, I think, directly. Problem is that then the turn is still kind of sente, isn't it? There. Well, AI seems to think it would have been tenukiable because that's why you would play away. You'd make such bad moves that AI loses on time. Crazy. Well, okay. Interesting settlement to this part. What Black is saying is like, yeah, I pay more over here, but I was gonna get Sente, and so because of that, because I still wanted to get Sente, I actually got like a lot of value to this part, and particularly to this part. Like Black was very thick here, but the fact that this white is not resolved is giving Black some Sente moves to this area, which means that this is Black's expected territory. The game goes in some normal way, we would give Black something Sente, some territory here. So he's saying like, okay, this is the best I could do to get territory here, to get territory there. Since the underneath way, the counterattacking way is just no counterattack against this 014 beautiful thickness.
Nine, eight, seven,
White's
6,
cut and capture
4,
like this is,
3,
I think it's designed to run out
2,
these two stones later. So that's what Black is handling when he's doing this kind of thing. Obviously, it would work. Question is whether it's like big enough. And I think White was saying this is big enough because the cut here is like already taken. So there is actually some threat to the top side after I capture these stones, and it's obviously huge territorially as well. And so that's why Black is fixing over here. Obviously, it's for movement, moving to the center of this stuff. But normally you would think that this one is getting sort of over concentrated to outside things. But he thought, I have to spend a move. And this is just the most efficient outside move that he could find to fix the white very serious breaking threats. Still, you can see the AI is thinking forever is probably not a great like white is going to conserve the fact that it can use it from the outside. Go into the corner first. Yeah, this is a big territory place. I think it was also possible to play on the bottom side directly there and like wait to go in the corner, but going in the corner is fine. It's more than fine. It's good. Yeah, somehow this game, Shin Minjun has played it much more conservatively than the last game that I saw. He saved cautiously here, he saved cautiously here, he saved cautiously here, and meanwhile, White has been doing some somewhat crazy things and getting value for it. White got, 3 corners in a 2 handicap game, and now he's getting the 4th corner.
9,
How are you supposed to give
8,
away 4 corners when you
7,
started with 2 of
6,
them?
5, 4,
And it
3,
would be one thing if Black was like getting a big area, getting a big moyo, but this is white moyo. All Black has is these sides which are very 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 thick. So you can see that White has clearly outplayed Black to this step, to this point. But it came from stuff like Hane here. It came from stuff like Hane into play from this side, into block here, into peep and block, and it came from stuff like attach and then Atari from this side and to play the outside. Like, yeah, it's so high level. So high level. So here this black move is killing that white stone for now, temporarily at least. Usually white should not handle it. White does handle it 1 step. Okay, obviously this is not a bad exchange for black. Is white gonna seriously try? Oh, it's because this area is so small, I guess. But can white? I don't know the good moves here for white. It's only diagonal is playable, but after diagonal and black does some outside stuff. Oh, is it weak enough that you can barge through and actually make some counter threat? Oh, I guess so. Oh wow, what an interesting shape. Normally we don't do this, guys. This is a Joseki no that Shin Minjun was taught is not good. But in this case, you'd get no outside benefit to the bottom side or to the left side, because white is already pressing all those areas down. So it's actually like very difficult to prove that black has a playable position here, since all the strong attacks to try to get the corner back leave behind some weakness. It's just probably not going to work with these 2 stones still not dead. So it's such an odd position where these 2 stones are not dead, and yet also the left side is not important.
7,
That it makes it possible. Like that's a very, very powerful combination to make it possible to try to save underneath. So this is the non-Joseki way to continue this, where white gets to Atari, and then normally we're thinking that white was pressing black back here, but Shin Minjun has just accepted. Yeah, I got pressed back, and you get to save yourself on the bottom. He's accepted that because the other ways were just not good. They were just not acceptable. So something had to happen. This is a 2 handicap, yes. There. Do we attach here? What's the right shape? Do we play loosely? Okay, jump here. This is the most basic shape. Hmm. The point was... Okay. Very deep. Primarily, the idea for right now is that this Atari is not necessarily black Sente. So right now, if black Atari is here, I think white will be playing something like jump. And then, because that flexible thing is there, we're thinking about like what's the best shape over here. You wouldn't really want to play this one directly because black could play here. And then you'd have to push through cut to make use of it. Black saves underneath here. That seems playable, actually, but... Yeah, black white would eventually want to be using this Atari and then saving in the corner. I don't know. It looks okay that way. But... This way also... Yeah, it's very difficult to look at all the variations there and really judge by territory and judge by power. Like that's just a go position where the life and death is intertwined with the sacrifice, with the other areas. Hard to judge everything, man. So hard. So here we're seeing black attacking this in a sort of soft manner, saying, yeah, I won't get answered right now, but maybe in the future. And wow. Basically, black's idea here was that white's answering would eventually be somewhat small, and black would be getting movement outside. And then white agreed and said, yeah, my answering would be small, so I'll ignore and I'll let you follow up. And black couldn't Hane here. He couldn't bring himself to Hane and put the maximum pressure of life and death on. Presumably because it would be alive, but I don't know how. Does anyone know how it was gonna live? I don't see it. This one looks like this is not the maximum pressure of life and death. That's what I can play here. Black's idea was that if white goes into the corner, then I can Atari and wedge, and it's obviously dead. But when this one happens, now Hane even extend first could happen. Maybe black can play this one first, but then white descends and it's alive. Hane extend first and then playing here. Is that alive as well? Let me read. There. Yeah, that's alive too. So there's no choice but to let white live after this empty triangle. Great living move. Of course, it was the basic move as well after this. Shouldn't have been a surprise. Oh, when black tries to capture this, white might actually be counterattacking first. This is actually so weak on the outside here. So black may not even get the maximum endgame benefit from this life. But anyway, I think black was probably thinking just like, okay, you saved here, but this shape shouldn't be inefficient. But territorially, white broke a lot and reduced all this, right? Got this very important move. And black's power is not useful to attack very much.
9, 8.
What should we even do as black?
6, 5.
I don't even know.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Push? He can't be talking about push and cut, can he? It would be very Shin Minjun of him, not in a very complimentary way. This is one of the things, one of the pushing cuts that other top pros will never ever play, but Shin Minjun might. He knows why the other top pros wouldn't play it. That kind of efficiency, but sometimes he likes to disregard it and pay attention to the reading. But it's clear in this case. I don't think you can convince even Shin Minjun to cut here. When there's a push here and there's so much power for white throughout all the other parts of the board. It's just a very hard game for black now. This Tenuki was brilliant to say, "Oh, you're attacking me, but I can save it."
9, 8, 7, 6.
Very
5,
excellent.
4, 3, 2, 1.
He cut. All right, so let's find exactly what the right saving method is here. There's many that are viable. So human pros will find it somewhat difficult to choose one. Whether we should push here, jump here, Atari and extend. Probably Atari and extend is bad. Jump here. But probably, I think... Okay, so he chooses the Atari way. We can also Atari and give up, but I don't think that's as positive. This is probably Atari and extend method, meaning that we're stopping the black extend. Getting this Atari, black is going to turn. We're going to accept one time, right? And then we're going to play some move over here. Everything is settled. Like jump here. So Atari and extend method was the choice. Is it good to prioritize this? Or should we be like holding on for a chance to go for, yeah, I don't think there's another direction. Oh, there was this method. This is the real reason why we're doing this way. I forgot about this method. Triple Hane squeeze method can be so strong. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. This way, Wait says, I will be able to save that anyway. So in the meantime, let me give you a bad shape. So I don't have to, like, obviously black can still make some potential bad shape for white here, or black and Atari in ladder. But there was also going to be bad shape the other way if I did it some other way. Wow, white is conserving this Aji to do things differently here, by the way. Saying that black will never answer, and it's just like white's co-threat. I guess it's the main reason to conserve it. There is a chance that we would extend here sometimes, and that sometimes that would make something happen. But it seems that that would be an extreme rarity. Right? Maybe not. Maybe sometimes you extend here, and you're gonna cut, so they want to answer over here, and then if not, then you Atari here, and then use this Atari, and then use this Atari, and you actually do break through underneath
9,
all the way.
8, 7,
I mean, you can't quite do it all the way, but you can get
5,
more.
4,
Okay, interesting.
2,
It was very correct to not Atari here. Very correct, not just a little correct. Instructive. Very instructive. So now black will fix, and white will continue to save. And the game will be comfortable. Still just in fighting for white. Black tried to make the game more difficult, more exciting for white. This is what I mean when I say he's like not even playing it like it's an AI. This is he knows it's not right, but he's just trying to make the game more difficult for a human opponent. He does not keep it in mind that the game being more difficult for the AI is literally irrelevant. It will always find the best moves.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jump here. So he didn't even want to play ladder like this. That ladder was working, but if white Atari'd here, when you answer, then the ladder would not be working anymore. I didn't even realize that white is setting up a ladder breaker. I wasn't paying enough attention. Sorry about that. So white ran out in a way which creates the cutting points outside. And then um, hmm.
9, 8.
That's the obvious move. That's also the obvious move. So I was thinking that at this point, black could extend. Maybe. Am I crazy? Here.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Black disagreed. Because if you did it, what would happen exactly? I think that what black is doing is the correct way. But like, if you did it, and I want to read it correctly, um, we can use this Sente, throw in Atari here, and make it Ko. But is that really good enough? It would have to be like Atari directly here. There, Ko. Ignore everything. Anything worth... No, there's nothing worth answering. Okay. That would probably be good enough. And there might be stronger ways as well.
9,
But
8,
probably that's what Shin Minjun
7,
read.
6,
He read out the
5,
Ko and realized it's not
4,
effective.
3.
Now he's thinking about pushing here, but is scared of the cut, so he decides to fix. I agree. If you pushed here, you allow the cut and extend, then you get this very, very pleasant. But then you have to deal with this. Very, very unpleasant. So he decided he could only just fix. Now white is already ahead, so it doesn't have to churn to stop the thing, because he can just accept when black pushes. So he just runs to the top side. Tough. Is there any way for black to be winning? It seems like black's territories are so small throughout the board, right? Like black has just gotten really reduced and bullied. Black tried to establish something big here, and now it is taking his own
5,
thing
4,
while reducing it,
3,
right? Like the only way should be that we
1.
contest somehow something, but contesting is not gonna work. When I click square estimator, it says black by 18, very optimistically. I mean, I can't see any move black did wrong, really. Other than cut here. Cut I don't like, but down here, I don't know what black was supposed to do about that. It was just great by white. After cut, then I think this is a very, very savvy way to go about the fight. It looks great. Down here, I don't see a better way. Like, his way is clearly better than my way down here. Maybe there was something better, but I don't know what it was. Same with the left side thing. Pressing from this side. His way was better than my way. There might have been something even better, but I don't know what it was. It's the same with this. Like, I can clearly see how he's been punished, and I can clearly see how every move that he played was better than like my suggestion, or at least as good. Like except for cut here maybe.
9, 8, 7.
Wow, Atari at this timing is very odd, very
4,
very odd.
3, 2.
It means that if black extended here, it was supposed to be black sente, so white actually contested it as like double sente for territory. I couldn't think like that. I think Shin Minjun also not really. He's not really on that wavelength. But wow, to already prevent the counterattack, realizing that this is like critical area, and then give up Aji in order to make it clean. Wow, wow. Does it mean that white thinks that they're winning already? Probably not. Probably it was a realistic move and trying to continue to put pressure in the most active way possible. Let me turn on some music for myself.
9, 2, 1.
Great. Yeah, if I were black, I would be prioritizing this stuff and giving up on outside attacking. But I mean, surely you have to do something before you give up on it. But what even? Oh, I did not. It was way too loud too. Sorry about that. It was because I had the Michael Redmond video I was watching earlier. Normally I have it muted. What can even be good here, man? This is so tough. This just kind of open position, every obvious pressure point, you know, fixable for white. What do we do? Yeah, this is the most obvious, which white will just descend against, right? I don't know what the threat is. Hmm. Push now. It can make sense. Yeah, you came up with an idea. Wait, Hane, I guess? Ugh, excuse me. Maybe Hane is small? Hello, hello, hello. Wow. So ignore was understandable, but this ignore, I didn't expect it. For some reason, I just missed this move. Is it Degen Pro Kibitzing Hour? Perhaps it is. It's a bit early for the proper Degen hours. I'm probably gonna play a game or two after this. So what is the point, by the way, here? If black just descends, it's so it's still unclear. If black descends, white is going to push down and then cut here. Is that really big enough? I mean, push down and then push here. Sorry, and then cut here. It doesn't seem like that's worth the big swing of endgame here. Clearly, Shin Minjun sees it, whatever is happening. Or he would have descended already. But what is happening? Is it like you go here and then cut directly is big enough? It's big? It seems like this is about to cut, but normally I think that like this is bigger, this kind of descending thing and new. But I guess it is a lot of it's you know, a solid 10 points. So he goes for the trade. I had no idea there was going to be this kind of thing. What about a wedge at e16 afterwards? So normally it's not going to be effective, where they can Atari underneath there. I mean, the wedge is definitely useful for when black is pressing this back, but we shouldn't be thinking we're going to kill, only that we get a little bit more endgame. So cut directly as expected here. And then black. Okay, couple options actually. Hmm. So this way means black is intent on allowing white to reduce everything over here and take Sente. So when I say reduce everything, I mean um, when white can push through and then cut here and black has to fall back here, black would have to spend more points inside probably than just by answering this way, right? So I think this push will be answered with this one in the future. And then, considering that, is it a good timing to exchange a peep, by the way? Maybe we can use the peep to not have to worry that much about it. But probably if you want to exchange the peep, you'd rather like get something from this part first. The boundary of where the white area is and where the black area is here is definitely quite critical. But white is so thin, it seems like we should get more than just blocking it. Am I crazy for that? Maybe I am. Maybe actually. No, no, no. You've got to get something. So he's just gonna Tenuki. This was obviously the jump was the big like Gote move I was expecting. Allow this stuff. It's making sense. Answer? So white's gonna be locally alive there. That's a clever way for white. If white had jumped here, then later black could probably get push and throw in, and the block here, and try to attack this whole white group. So it would give a lot more control here. As is, black can still throw in. It's actually still possible. But I was sort of expecting it not to happen, because then black would have to back off further. So by letting black block here, then white gets to use this Hane as a question for whether their life and death is going to allow them to get extra endgame. Basically, they're in better condition than you would expect. Wow, interesting timing on this move. Normally white plays the outside and that's bad. Even white could play Hane here now. Probably that's too much, but normally if white does this kind of thing, then it was not useful. to go reduce this. Yeah. There's some points here actually, and the power of this is quite considerable, especially considering that the Hana here is now active properly. Now we might be seeing this one still, and then if white tries to like make a ko, black can try to win the ko and force an answer. So we might still see this one actually get answered, and then black can say I didn't get tricked by the shape. However, this is the trick, the fact that we got an extra thing here. It's like a different way to lose value, luckily. Excuse me. Hane. Push first. Really? Why? I guess we'll still just Hane and connect anyway after this. Alright, probably no big difference. It can be very true in this game, you know. I wasn't tricked, but they just did something I wasn't expecting. You shouldn't expect most things. Most things. But if they did something good you weren't expecting, that's another story. So he still got all the Sente, and he still probably has to answer the side here. He could attack from the center, but the cut first is devastating. Where white is... Right? White is just building power with the potential eye here, and the potential eyes here, that you have to stop. And disgusting. So, black answers. Now white can, locally speaking, Hane, but probably globally, this one, yeah, this direction. I was realizing, like, the reason why I was questioning myself whether we should do something harsh here is because I realized the black is actually not that thick. Not as thick as you'd expect. So this one is almost sincerely threatening cut. Not really, but it's almost there. And so that means another move is definitely sincerely threatening cut. It's a very fleshy area, and it's difficult for black to play, because this kind of move... I guess it's possible to play, but there's some problems. There's some shape problems. Completely misread a simple life and death after spending 30 minutes in a pro game? In chess, they say if you spend a long time, you're gonna make a mistake afterwards. And then the theorized reason I heard is because, well, yeah, obviously, if you weren't about to make a mistake, you wouldn't spend so much time. So if you know what you're doing, then you'll play fast, right? And if you don't know what you're doing, you'll play slow, and then it's like, haha, this guy spent 30 minutes, and then he played a dumbass move. But no, the reason why he spent 30 minutes is because he knew he was going to play a dumbass move the whole time. So it's hard, right? So top players are the ones who only play 10-second games. Of course, the natural follow. Ah, this one is the the right asking move. Black has to block just like this, because if you block here, then there will be Atari. Atari, connect, you have to connect Atari. It's not working. So Black has to pull back to this. That was the clever way for white here, but still this is the best thing for black for sure. To answer that. This whole group is very thick because it captured the 3 stones. Maybe that's part of why we could play so aggressively over here. I honestly forgot that this group got thick. I remembered this group got thick, but I forgot this one. Had any trouble in the first place? I think this is my problem. When I still fuck up this sort of thing, which is embarrassingly often. Wow, and black is allowing the crazy Atari stuff, which is very interesting. I didn't realize he was going to allow it. Yeah, Shin Minjun is playing black. Wow, and white prepares it this way. What even is happening here? Wait, what? Wait, why did white do this? To me, this black move looks working. What I was gonna say is that, like, I often miss when I capture or a group of stones gets captured or a sacrifice. I often miss the group which is very strong but not like literally solved, becoming literally solved when it captures. And that's a huge thing that I can just add to my play. I'm gonna write it down. The group which was tomorrow's problem, right? Which was tomorrow's problem, capturing tomorrow's problem, capturing stones, fixes tomorrow's problem, tomorrow's problem, very notable for judgment, judgment, and particularly future planning, particularly future planning. You got it? Wait, what the heck just happened? White planned cut. Ah, right. Meaning that we're gonna go break this. Ah, so clever. So clever. So now Shin Minjun gets to take a couple coins more here, but lose the whole bottom, or lose the whole top side, and cannot really make the border comfortable for himself there. Since this is strong, you have like almost nothing to do. White might even block here. Or maybe even play diagonal, I'm not sure. If block is really efficient here. Because you don't have any cut, not really, right? Looks like we got all of it somehow. Okay, just connect. That was crazy. This way is not worse in border, I guess. Because when black uses these, it's go to white can still push through Atari. So anyway, yeah, I was looking at this border much earlier and saying this is very fleshy, like very important. But also the other things are important too. It was tough. This push, wait, the reason why it happened is because black blocked, trying to get 2 extra points. This is a fair thing to go for, by the way. But afterwards, then this cut was devastating. Really strong idea. Really, really, really strong idea. And then one side of the border or another is going to be broken. It was just great. I have no idea. I think white wins from that. Wow, the betting rate, guys, on this game was 65% white, 35% black in this last period, only 5 moves ago. That was now. People were betting 35% for black to win. At this point, it's obvious it's going to go this way for anyone who's running their AI. It's obviously correct sequence. And they said 35% black win rate. Is black really okay here? He didn't lose that much as I thought. The score estimator says white by 7, but it's not giving black the left side, which is obviously actually Shin Minjun's. And it's also giving black the right to go over here, which I'm not exactly sure he gets that right. Seems like he's losing time with this one. I mean, he's trying to press in this white, but it's kind of hard to press in this white very effectively when... I mean, this part is alive, but this part is not alive, I mean, but this part is super strong. I don't know, he kind of deserves something on the bottom side here too, which is not paid for. And if you just give this extra territory, the game is like quite close. But this kind of endgame should be long and hard, and there's no way I think that Shin Minjun is going to really stay stable through the whole endgame, even if the game is like close now. You're gonna lose a point or two if the AI knows it needs a point or two. It does some crazy stuff. Like this one, when you answer it, you can actually lose value. Obviously, this threat is not as serious. Nothing is gonna die. And if white connects, then there would be no big follow-up. So that was just black investing this stone, basically to block off this area. And white is satisfied with that. No big deal. And white pushes, yeah, so pushes on the black bottom side and then blocks here. I was saying it was not really looking up for black to be able to get this instant time. So he did not. And then that gives white some pressure as well for this area. Shin Minjun has played this game quite well overall. He does a Shin Minjun thing over here, but overall his game plan was pretty steady and stable. Hmm. White connect is forest, of course. Black is gonna think about honeying here, I think. That's the most tempting move. What about G4? What about it? Oh, G4? Wait, all the way in here. Then they'll block the outside. You want to play here? And then... What? They're gonna play clamp, I guess? You want to Atari? G4? Hmm. Ah, no. So after G4, they're going to extend here, and then if you want to cut and play this way, then they're going to clamp. And there's no way. Black needs to come back to D7 area. Why does black need to come there? I don't see it. Black uses this peep. Okay. Because of the three-stone dying situation, we can play some novel ways here. It's possible, but I don't think they're good. So yeah, just connect still. Then if black cuts here right now, we're gonna get a target all the way through. So black is likely to try to set it up with this kind of move. and then we could cut. But actually, these, like, the idea of cutting and forcing this is probably bad because these stones are very big. So you know what? Never mind. Never mind. No need to cut. You think it's gote to why would it be gote to peep? Like, there's no big change that happened. The black is still getting just a little territory over here. So this is pretty daring. Now when white plays here and pushes through and we block and white cuts and then we Atari and then white goes there and we have to save here and then white cuts here, it's not working. So when white goes here and pushes through, we can't really block. They're gonna cut. Alright, I guess we can block, they cut, and then go under. Something like that. Obviously this is really big, but you know, territorially this part is big, but we're getting kind of blasted on the left side when it comes to this. Oh, we aren't. Wow, it was so valuable to get just to the Atari. I'm very surprised. I was for sure that white was going to be breaking through and forcing us to handle that stuff. But it didn't happen like that. Anyway, white is alive like this. 100% lookup SCP-687 or 071. Is this a bot? What are you talking about? I'm kind of curious to look up whatever the heck it's talking about. Nah, just spreading word on 687 and 071. SCP-68 or 686. The SCP Foundation on SCP Wiki dot. SCP-686 is an opaque white liquid consisting of suspension of the lipids in dairy milk. Isn't SCP like infectious lactation? What the heck are you even talking about? A mysterious bottle of milk. Isn't this something that has to do with like weird alien fan fiction? For being the first one to look it up. Thank you for the congratulations. So the SCP Foundation, I vaguely heard of before. It's like this thing which many people are building in lore to, right? And just having fun. Collaborative writing project includes elements of many genres. Okay, so 686 was someone who got horny and is very kinky, I guess. 071 is skipped in the Wikipedia. So it's just a bunch of random horror stories that people like to load into the same thing. I never understood these collective stories very much. General rule: don't look at SCP. Don't look at Psi. I mean, obviously, I'm not opening it, opening these things live on stream. Sci-fi horror, but the good guys always get ate by a tentacle. I mean, even the more wholesome collaborative writing projects, I never really understood why you wouldn't just want to make your own. Um, I don't know. There's a few of these out there, right? Where there's big universes that people can all contribute to. I guess in a meta way, you could just call all sorts of fanfiction that, where the the fanfiction authors are building their own sort of fandom, fanfiction community of what's going on. And that I can understand because people have it like a source reference which that they're trying to like it makes it so that they don't have to do much character building themselves when writing. So you can just do the character building with the characters that already exist. So you get to be really lazy about it. You don't have to have them change. Like character growth is optional, and you can just you can just sort of go with what you already have and then make cool things happen. You don't have to like you don't have to you can just tell a story without so many limitations of making making it good. Yeah, fanfiction dates back a long time because of this idea where you get to tell stories for free. In a way, you can call the Greek and Roman myths fanfiction. They came up with some original characters, and then the vast majority of the myths were just created as fables, as telltales for fun. Long after the original stories were like well understood and okay. This must be a bot, right? Can't even spell babies right? Come on, man. Are you sure they're the good guys if they always fail more accurately to call them the weak guys, maybe? But like, um, a lot of these collaborative writing projects, which I'm talking about, they don't have the shared characters. So I don't understand what you're skipping by like putting your writing in the SCP Foundation or whatever. Like what it I totally understand fanfiction is about skipping the need for character growth in your story and just having fun, right? Like you just these are the characters you already know, they're your friends and you just have fun writing them. Great. But what's the point of adding your fiction to the SCP Foundation or something, which doesn't have any established characters, doesn't have any like themes like that? I don't understand. Writing can be lonely, having community is helpful, I suppose. I guess this is like the major reason. But isn't it like, doesn't it feel? I guess if the community is like whatever you write's good with us, bro, then you aren't actually limited by the community that you're in. Is that why these massive communal writings are so crazy? Because people are like, ah, whatever. I want to write my own thing, but we'll just say I'm in the community. I guess it makes sense. I just personally have never been in a writing community. I'm not a big writer. You must be able to tell. When I was young, I read fan fiction to some extent. I mean, not avidly, but some of the good ones, like Methods of Rationality or whatever. In the Harry Potter, I liked that. I have a core memory of like trying to solve the final riddle, and then looking back at it a couple years later and being like, "Oh my god, how cringe!" Well, the solution that I had was was so narratively driven for a completely unnarratively driven story. I mean, not completely, but fiction for people who buy canned beans and put them in a bunker so you wouldn't think too hard. Yeah, I guess. I guess this is the primary audience for that stuff as well. But you know, it's the same thing with fan fiction. It's fiction for people who don't have the heart to tell their own story. But it doesn't mean that all the fan fictions are bad out there. There's definitely lots of bad ones, but there are some good ones. Some people who just prefer to write their story within a established universe. Read over half a book of the last Harry Potter that was leaked a couple of weeks early. Turned out to be a very well written, full length fanfic book. That's incredible. That fanfiction author must have done this. Been like, all right, I this is how I'm gonna get my book out there. It's leaked. It's leaked. I'm pretending. I've never heard of this, but that's amazing. Isn't this massive for white? Yeah, so this what's happening here, the I think the main thing that black was like counting on is that this isn't that easy to fill the liberty. Black is gonna get a bonus here. A small reduction bonus in exchange for the fact that white is going to keep trying to fill liberties. But honestly, even that is not guaranteed. And um, so what I'm talking about is that after this, I was expecting White to connect, and then Black also gets to exchange this Atari. But like, you have to fight the code to do that, and this code is for a lot. Um, so it does seem like Black is kind of breaking down here. But if he had done it any other way, it was no different. This is just like in general. I was surprised that White didn't do this earlier. It seemed like it was always strong. So you see this Hane. I guess the reason why White didn't do this is probably something to do with not being able to fight the Ko very hard, because Black was very thick throughout this game, right? But maybe at this point, the thickness is sort of reverted a bit. I don't know. He really got bamboozled. It's crazy. It's actually such an epic prank. I appreciate it very much. I wish that there was like hype over books in the same way these days. I could get pranked in such a way. I mean, there's some hype over books, but I don't know. I'm not that into the series that are hyped. Telegraph video on SCP when? Never, for sure. Black has to capture all the way back at B10. Probably not. I think that probably Black is just gonna die a little bit over here, and then after this part is like a little bit dead, it's just gonna be Ko for this. That Ko is really hard for White to fight all the way through and make it happen. So more like White is eventually gonna be capturing here, and then Black will not have to fix this, right? Until it's for third point Ko or something. What is happening? So now, if Black, okay, Black is gonna answer. It's just an inside move. It's not actually losing anything. Wow. Okay. Crazy co-threat. But it does seem like White is gonna pick up quite a few coins here. Why you thought White might have pushed at d7 earlier? That this whole side has some awkward liberty issues. Yeah, but if White had pushed at d7 earlier, Black would have just fallen back like this, right? I believe. Ah, maybe Black would have blocked too, and it would also be working. I don't think that there was very serious issues with that. At least I didn't see it. Anything clear? WOT, Wheel of Time, yeah? You get the second to last Wheel of Time book in the mail a week or two ago. A week or two early, not a week or two ago. Enjoyed writing up a spoiler thread. My goodness. How dare you? Spoiling the whole book. I should read that one more. I sort of distracted myself from it. But I was enjoying the start of the first book. And then somehow I don't know, I've just been reading other things. I can't really fight this Ko for very long. Well, while it was still for the Atari for here, yeah. But afterwards, White is still just gonna fight the next guy. Yeah. Press on this. Black must answer. Is White gonna go in or fix this? Okay, fix this. So if you didn't fix this, then you were gonna give up the 3 stones here. Going in like this seemed close to comparable to me in size. But actually this White group is not alive, so it's not actually close to comparable. Okay, that makes sense. It was not actually about the the thing. It was gonna be broken. My bad, sorry. Misread. Misread. I also really want to finish Lord of the Mysteries reading and then watch the anime. Whatever it's called. I guess it's Danghua, something like that. If it's from China, is it from China? Lord of the Mysteries thing. Let me look it up. I heard about it and was hyped. Lord of the Mysteries. Danghua, indeed. Wow, wait, they have an actual plan for all the way through 2035 is when they expect it to be finished. Wow, okay. They're really gonna try to pump this out then. I think China will probably do a very good job for Lord of the Mysteries. Their style is, I think, much more heavily action oriented than Japanese anime. Donghua or manhwa? So the Lord of the Mysteries is originally a light novel, which I enjoyed. Um, very much, and I've read all but the last 100 chapters. And then there's a Donghua made very recently, which I'm excited to watch. You watched the anime but opted out of reading the novel, though it seems well translated. So much. Yeah, it's a super long project to read all that. However, very fun. Very, very fun. I think I don't know, the Chinese media culture lends itself well to creating that kind of um picture as well. They do very well with action scenes from what I've seen, which is not much. But um they haven't hit every time in my experience when it comes to doing things like hitting their emotional beats in a way which is satisfying. Game over. Black won. Shin Minjun won. Wow. Let's play again, he says. He actually did it. All those losses that he was piling up were each small enough that he was able to win. The bettors were right. He was winning. At the end here, I think Fine Art kind of threw a little bit in order to make it not a clear win for Black by endgame, which apparently would have been. Wow, what an interesting game. Let's go and... Well, I'm sorry I got distracted at the end here. My focus is clearly not enough. How many stones do you think AI would need against the God of Go? Okay, people actually talk about this question a lot, and what they don't realize is that there's a very important distinction between whether the God of Go knows the AI's, like exactly the AI's choices in every position, or just is playing perfectly by themselves. So if you know the way that the AI is going to make mistakes, it's completely different than if you are just playing perfectly and you don't know anything about what the AI will do. Completely different. So this was actually good, what he did here. And here the connect was good, not the Hane. So this trading is unacceptable. Wow. I didn't know about that. I had no idea. Cutting was reasonable, but that was clear. Saving inside was good, and then it was wild what he did. So I can tell you about the God of Go, which knows about the AI's weaknesses, and the God of Go, which does not. But yeah, like the exploits to beat the AI that was found 3 years ago. There's many things like that which you could do, although like not as striking. Clearly, like if the AI still has that kind of exploit, then you can beat it with 9 stones. At least the God of Go can. But I don't think the AI has that severe of an exploit anymore. However, it still has many exploits, which should mean that the God of Go, knowing what the AI is going to play in each position, can probably give AI at least 2 stones. If God of Go just knows the best moves, can read everything with any variation to end board state, but not exploiting AI weakness. This is the most curious thing. So to me, I think that the AI is probably like this kind of fine art AI is probably slightly unfavored with. I mean, it's probably slightly favored with no Komi. It's something. It's about no Komi away from God, I think. Four or even five might be possible with true prescience. That's totally possible as well. Is this a real thing that Shin Minjun should go here? Oh wow, White was gonna answer? I didn't know who White was gonna. If Shin Minjun knew White was gonna answer here, he would have done it differently. I think. Less than a difference than what you'd have guessed. So it's a very big difference, like what quality of AI we're talking about as well. If we're talking about this kind of fine art thing, this thing makes so few mistakes that it's just unreasonable. Um and it's making this few mistakes when actively trying to like make mistakes to cause trouble. But it makes like no mistakes, no inaccuracies throughout the games that are really noticeable at all. So is this a real thing then? Here? It was not because there was this move. So I was curious about. Oh, it was not here. It was about here. Mm. It's 7 in a row, so you'd think you should try to kill it, but there's still cuts outside, which are leading to the surroundedness of this group. And it was actually not working for black. You can play versus the best AI and lose only by Komi. You mean on a 5x5 board? No, I'm just kidding. But even in Mirror Go, the AIs are beating that a lot more these days. They've been taught. There's like a lot of these like little tricks that people have tried to show off how they can beat the AI, and then the super top AIs have actually beaten, um, been programmed to beaten these things. So you can't like Mirror Go versus Fine Art and try to scam it really anymore because they just said if somebody starts mirroring, like they put it into if somebody starts mirroring, then you should train this way, you should train that way. Like they're really precise about it. Wow, this is the stage where black was losing value. Seriously? It was so important for black to make the keep here. What does it mean? I don't understand. But actually, even though black had like lost some value throughout the game here, it was I was too sensitive to it. It was not bad what he did. These things were actually far more playable for black than I expected. When what is establishing these corner positions and getting the clear territory there. Okay, this move is like we're getting ourselves squeezed. I can understand. I think AI with top resources, long time control would always lose against itself at say 2-3 points disadvantaged Komi. Like, are they keeping their games clean the whole time if they know that they have 2-3 points? Yeah, for sure. Maybe always is a stretch, but 99% is easy to say. Yeah, they control their games super well. If they know Komi and will play accordingly for that, then yeah, they will win 99%. So to say God is gonna win then like all the time against that means I really believe in God, right? It's like I really think that there's a lot more depth to the game than even the super inevitable, super perfect way. That capture was nice. I had no idea that black was leading like 6 points now. So much. I'm okay, I'm very curious. Why is this a 6 point mistake? What's wrong? It goes like this and here, and we can't attack it? Oh. We're getting in big trouble with the center and with the co. Black has some co-threats against this group. This group is not safe, so it can be chased. So then this co is very serious. If black is gonna win the co, black is gonna capture these stones. And then when black, it connects back and kills all that, it's very bad. Oh wow, so this is very serious. So that was why black could do this and dare it and then say, hey, you can't do anything over there. Even though white was progressing a lot to make these co's and benefits over here, like black fought very hard for his benefit there. And white was losing. Yeah, at the end here, it tips a bit back up because, yeah, white can't play like this comfortably. We lose the ko. This is the easy reading. Interesting. Better bet to bring Go Sagan back to life and train him with AI. At best, he'll reach Shinjin So's level, or maybe a bit above Shinjin So's level. But Shinjin So is so marvelously good, guys. I feel like people underrate, even though it's not it's not easy to underrate, or you know, the number one player of the modern day. But like objectively, in game quality, he's so good. If we could bring Ghost Sagan back to life, I'd do it for sure. But I wouldn't expect him to be better than Shinjinso. It's possible he could, but Shinjinso is unbelievable. Unbelievably good. There's a summoning salt for these. I just went to check my thing. Um, my YouTube for music. But anyway, thanks for watching the AI here. What am I learning, by the way? I was just sort of relaxing here at the end, but what did we actually learn? Um, Basically, when white goes in and steals away these territories, it can gain a little bit, but it's not really gaining a lot very much. Um, when you get to break the opponent's base, it's actually valuable enough that they should fix. Like, it's relatively heavy. That's one thing to learn. How about this cut? Was this cut actually viable, by the way? No, it wasn't. No, I just play some outside move. It's better. But the playing around the ladder breaker was savvy. Yeah, it's so hard to play correctly this stuff. This was generally just so difficult, everything going on. To come up with this move is not hard, but to choose it, compared to all the other things, so hard. The fact that this trading was like acceptable for black is kind of surprising. It's not really acceptable. He lost a couple points, but only a couple points is not so bad. He was supposed to play here. It's better, for sure. Okay, I guess it was not that acceptable because this one is like a lot better than this way. But it's surprising just how, yeah. I mean, I guess these ways were not working. So this cut was a great method by White. That's like constructive in technique. I guess these code things, I can learn something about it. The Hane is so nice, of course. Yeah, Black's idea to like let these codes happen because he could gain a couple points as the code is created. It was enough to like make the AI think that the game is wasting away and there's no chance left to gain these 4 points back. Gains. I guess the main thing I want to learn is the technique of the cut over here. That's super strong. The techniques that Black was using were like not bad at the beginning as well. That's also instructive. Yeah, it's interesting white chose not to jump play from the corner. What am I going to change my mind on with this game? I guess this move is cool. Yeah, this was quite interesting. This move is also very cool. I was thinking this crosscut is not really effective. I guess AI thought it was not that effective also. Should just play here. Yeah, the problem with playing this one is you can't answer this. So you have to find your clever way, which apparently is push and here, and then say, I've covered it. So now if you go in, there's some problem with the cuts. So it's very hard to play, very awkward. You have to come back, and then I get to fix, and it's comfortable for... Right, it's still comfortable for black. What went wrong? Nothing. Why is the black number going up? Wasn't this the suggested way? Go here? No, this is suggested. This is suggested. Cut now. Don't block. So we trade. These trades are always so hard to evaluate, man. You trade back and forth, and you have some life and death trouble in the end. Very tricky stuff. I guess I can learn this one. It's also possible to do other things, but the fact that this one is possible and you're going to go for the super strong fighting... I mean, white kind of showed how it's not that useful, because it made it really hard for white to make gains in all these neighboring areas. If white had just like pincered instead of playing here, probably white wins the game more often. Black was just precise. Precise enough to win. It was a nice game by Shin Minjun. Never give up. Don't just believe that it's gaining. Show that it's not for some reason. Yeah, this is a good game. Hope you guys enjoyed. I should have counted at some point in the end here. My gut feeling was that black had like lost too much throughout these things, but just overestimated what black lost at the very beginning of the game. Black actually hadn't lost very much at all through there. Only making a loss with this jump, really. Everything else is totally fine. Wow. Great game by Shin Minjun. Excellently played. If AI really is like only no Komi away from perfect play, then he almost could beat God with perfect play here. Now, I think if God had 2 stones, there's no way that God is going to play the connection here and make the game so hard on himself. So I think the perfect player will play a lot better than the AI this game. So I don't know if Shin Minjun would really still win, but he did a good job. This is nice. Hope you guys enjoyed.